everybody, this is BC Begley, and these are your news headlines for December the 5th of 2022. CNN has published an exclusive article that claims China is operating over 100 police stations across the world with the help of some host nations. Beijing has set up more than 100 so-called overseas police stations across the globe to monitor, harass, and in some cases, repatriate Chinese citizens living in exile using bilateral security arrangements struck with countries in Europe and Africa to gain a widespread presence internationally. A new report shared exclusively with CNN alleges. Apple makes plans to move production out of China. In recent weeks, Apple has accelerated plans to shift some of its production outside of China, long the dormant country in the supply chain that built the world's most valuable company, say people involved in the discussions. It is telling suppliers to plan more actively for assembling Apple products elsewhere in Asia, particularly in India and Vietnam, they say, and looking to reduce dependence on Taiwanese assemblers. The European Union says Twitter faces fines or a shutdown if it does not comply with the law. Twitter can be subjected to fines and other measures if it does not comply with EU law, said the European Union Internal Market Commissioner. Dissident says Cuba regime has unleashed repressive fury. Trailblazing blogger Yohani Sanchez said on Saturday the Cuban regime has hit any sign of discontent with repressive fury and warned that a new penal code seeks to stifle independent journalists. Iran abolishes the morality police amid the Mahsa Amini protest. Iran has abolished its morality police, AFP reported, citing Iran's attorney general. This comes after the ongoing protest erupted across the country regarding the death of Mahsa Amini 2 months ago, who was arrested by the Iranian morality police for allegedly violating Iran's strict dress code for women. Iran executes 4 men convicted of cooperating with Israel. Iran on Sunday executed 4 men convicted of cooperating with Israel's spy agency Mossad, the Iranian state media reported. The Islamic Republic has long accused archenemy Israel of carrying out covert operations on its soil. Tehran has recently accused Israel and Western intelligence services of plotting a civil war in Iran, which is now gripped by some of the biggest anti-government protests since its 1979 Islamic Revolution. North Carolina power substations taken out by gunfire, says the sheriff. Over 40,000 Moore County, North Carolina residents were powerless on Sunday afternoon after 2 substations were taken out by gunfire on Saturday evening, according to police. Russia is set to ban oil sales under price cap, Kremlin says. Moscow will forbid domestic companies from selling Russian oil under any price cap and is willing to dial down production to compensate for the lost exports, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak said on Sunday, according to Russian news agency TASS. Astronauts install a new solar array outside the International Space Station. NASA astronauts Josh Cassada and Frank Rubio headed outside the International Space Station on Saturday for a 7-hour spacewalk to install and unfurl a new rollout solar array recently delivered by a SpaceX cargo ship. Sam Bankman-Freid says he will testify before the House when he's, quote, finished learning and reviewing what happened. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Freid said on Sunday that he will testify before the House Financial Services Committee, but suggested he may not be ready to do so before a planned hearing on December the 13th. An Indonesian volcano erupts, releasing a river of lava. Indonesia's tallest volcano erupted on Sunday, sending a river of lava across the terrain of the country's most populated island and clouds of ash up into the sky, according to reports. The European Union's chief says bloc has to address distortions created by Biden environmental policies. European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen said on Sunday that Europe must address distortions in the marketplace created by U.S. President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which heavily subsidizes green energy technologies. In the Ukraine war, fighting is set to slow for the winter months, says the U.S. intelligence. The fighting in Ukraine has been slowing down, and this will likely continue in the coming winter months, according to U.S. intelligence. However, there has been no evidence of fading resistance on the part of Ukrainian forces, U.S. Director of Intelligence Avril Haines said. She said both sides would try to, quote, refit, resupply, and reconstitute for any counteroffensive in the spring. Nancy Pelosi told French President Emmanuel Macron that she crushes a hot dog every day on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi revealed her habit of eating a hot dog in the House Democratic cloakroom every day to French President Emmanuel Macron last week. And the Pentagon unveils a first strategic bomber in over 30 years to counter China. The Pentagon unveiled its first new strategic bomber in more than 30 years on Friday, a nuclear-capable bat-wing plane that will become a central component of the United States' effort to counter China's military buildup when it enters service around the year 2027. And guys, all the links for the articles that I just covered in this video can be found in the description below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and you can find even more content on my website at bcbegley.com. You know, I don't think we're putting our best foot forward here. I don't think we are.